Hundreds of hours of secret footage, celebrities, politicians, and blackmail files paint Diddy as hip-hop's Black Epstein. Legal battles, civil suits, and hidden truths could topple empires. The last piece of evidence in this video. Once upon a time, Diddy threw million-dollar parties filled with flashing lights, endless champagne, and Hollywood stars. Today, he sits in the cold, echoing walls of Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, stripped of luxury, staring at a future defined by bars and judges. His lawyers first offered $1 million for bail, but the court didn't hesitate. Denied. The ruling was blunt. Diddy is too dangerous to walk free. Prosecutors revealed stories of witness tampering and intimidation, claiming his influence stretches far beyond music. Then came the shocker, a $50 million bail package.
I'm a little shocked by the idea that he stuck around to take his comeuppance. Like, maybe he has decided he wants to take some measure of accountability. I don't know. I know they put him in that jail in Brooklyn, and that jail is real.
When he got arrested, I got a bunch of texts from my friends like, he's still in the States? You get hit with the racketeering charge. That just seems when it starts to get real as
Well, did you see that report that he was prepared to post a $50 million bond? Brother, I got to tell you something. If your lawyer thinks that the bail for you is going to be $50 million, that is your lawyer telling you you're never getting out of jail. You're going to be in jail forever. What would you rather get? Life in prison or the 500 years? No, just call it life, dog.
His defense argued no one could risk that much money and break the rules. They insisted the Mann Act sounded violent on paper, but lacked physical violence. Yet prosecutors countered, manipulation leaves scars no less real. Cassie's 2016 hotel hallway footage stood as proof of years of abuse. Witnesses whispered, Drock pressured them to stay silent. In court, prosecutors branded Diddy a pattern predator. The judge reminded all that bail isn't about wealth, it's about public safety. Experts nodded, post-conviction bail is rarely granted, but the storm worsened. Raids uncovered 900 bottles of baby oil, hidden cameras tucked inside vents, and smoke detectors. Assistants confessed every room was wired, and freak-off parties were secretly filmed without consent.
1,000 bottles of baby oil? Damn, we're screwed. Now my new success was a slippery slope. But we gotta kick him out. Come on, talk to me. We could say he was starting a new label called Slippery Records. No more bad boy. Yeah, we could say he opened up his own kindergarten. You trying to make him end up like R. Kelly? Okay, scrap it. He wasn't playing when he said bad boy, was he? Well, I got so many questions where do you store the 1,000 bottles of baby oil? Can't stop, won't stop. I told you stop. No baby. It's not can't stop, won't stop, mate. It's Car started to slip. How does a delivery driver turn to a man's house with 1,000 bottles of baby oil and not see it as a red flag? Well, what was he trying to lubricate? A tank. I got it. He opening up a chain of spas, and they gonna be called lube 'em up. Just needed the lube to help him slide in them DMs, man. Easy slip in, slip out. Man, no one ain't buying that story. I got it. He ordered it during COVID, and he was stocking up. That's the story. That's the story. He was stocking up during COVID, and he just had a lot. You'll get a bit. Yeah. Come on, Mike. He's lost it. All right, so we good, right? Okay. Off it, you done joke.
Prosecutors warned the tapes implicated celebrities and politicians. Rumors swirled that Hollywood A-listers appear on the recordings, and insiders compared the operation to Jeffrey Epstein's. FBI sources hinted those tapes sit sealed in evidence. Diddy's team argued the raids violated his privacy. The judge cut them off. The victim's privacy mattered more. Now each day, inside MDC tightens the noose. His empire can't shield him, and the $50 million gambit, his boldest move yet, has left the court unmoved. The fire started long before Las Vegas. The East versus West feud wasn't born overnight. It was already burning hot by the early 1990s. Diddy, then at the height of his rise, watched Tupac dominate everything. The charts, the films, the headlines. Bad Boy's shiny Versace suits became a mirror of Pac's flamboyant style, and even insiders like bodyguard Gene Deal admitted Puffy copied Pac's entire blueprint. But December 1994 changed everything. The Quad Studio shooting split the friendship forever, and Pac, wounded, furious, publicly accused Biggie and Diddy of betrayal. The Source magazine didn't calm the fire, it poured gasoline, publishing covers that framed the feud as a cultural war. On the streets, East Coast fans rallied behind Biggie, while retaliation brewed in the West. Then came the infamous 1995 Source Awards. Suge Knight humiliated Diddy on stage, sparking tensions that exploded into open war between Death Row and Bad Boy. Years later, Keffe D confessed that Diddy offered $1 million to have Tupac killed.
You know, when we go back to that shooting in 1994, what do you think is the most important evidence from that shooting?
To me, we don't have to look any more than Tupac's own words. He said when he got to the studio that night in 1994, Sean Combs and his entourage would not look at him.
Why do you think this is happening right now? Why are we hearing more? Is it because Diddy's back in the news and these allegations are out there and now he's in jail or a detention center being held? Do you think that's why this is all happening now? Now people feel safe to come out?
They feel safe. When he was denied bond the second time, look what happened with the women. We went from 11 victims to over 120. And I believe that number is going to quadruple. So now the family of Tupac feels safe.
Quoting Puffy's chilling words, "I don't care if Pac dies, Big dies, or Suge goes to jail." The motive? Fear. Tupac planned to launch Death Row East, signing New York artists and threatening Bad Boy's survival. Rumors spread the Southside Crips took money from Puffy, while FBI files linked his entourage to gang protection. By then, the grudge was personal. At the House of Blues, Tupac coldly ignored Diddy's greeting, and Suge allegedly warned Pac of a looming betrayal. Biggie, caught in the middle, watched, helplessly. Some claim he and Pac were close to reconciling in '96, a move that could have destroyed Diddy's business. Instead, whispers grew louder. The Vegas trip was prearranged, Puff's clean mogul image concealed darker whispers, and multiple witnesses repeated the $1 million bounty claim. Even FBI notes listed Tupac as an official target Biggie feared he'd be next. And decades later, that bounty remains hip-hop's deadliest rumor. Tupac didn't pick the name Machiavelli at random. In prison, he devoured the works of Niccolò Machiavelli, the 16th century strategist who once wrote that faking one's death could be the ultimate way to defeat your enemies. When Pac rebranded himself as Machiavelli, he wasn't just changing his stage name. he was hinting at transformation, maybe even foreshadowing escape. Fans later noticed that his lyrics constantly circled around themes of vanishing and survival, as if he was leaving breadcrumbs. Then came September 7th, 1996, the Vegas shooting. The scene almost looked like a carefully staged setup for an exit plan. Some even believe a body double was swapped into the hospital bed that night. Paramedics Jim and Shane remembered strange inconsistencies. Suge Knight swore Tupac was talking after being shot. Friends insisted he didn't seem critically wounded at first. Yet across 6 days in the hospital, no photos of him alive ever surfaced. Reporters were barred from entering, a rare and suspicious restriction. Rumors of a secret transfer spread like wildfire. Then came the whispers of Cuba. Locals in Havana claimed they'd seen a man who looked exactly like Tupac. His aunt, Assata Shakur, already lived there under asylum, and the Shakur family's Black Panther roots ran deep. Could activist networks have orchestrated the impossible? His escape. British agent Michael Nice went further, claiming he personally flew Tupac to Cuba, even saying Pac acted as his co-pilot. Nice claimed Castro himself granted exile under strict terms: stay silent, never return, never expose yourself. But Nice died mysteriously before releasing proof. Coincidence or cover-up? Other theories placed Pac in Barbados during a stopover. A dozen Havana locals swore they saw him walking freely. Grainy photos circulated online, while autopsy errors, wrong weight, missing tattoos stirred more suspicion. His cremation happened almost instantly, leaving no independent checks. And later, Afeni Shakur added one final mystery with her words: he chose to leave quietly. When Gene Deal, Diddy's longtime bodyguard, finally broke his silence, the hip-hop world leaned in. His claim was stunning. Tupac allegedly knew the setup was coming. According to Deal, Pac didn't stumble into death. He staged his own exit as the ultimate countermove. Even more shocking, Deal didn't paint Diddy as a criminal mastermind. Instead, he described him as a pawn trapped in larger games. And he wasn't alone. Other Bad Boy insiders began whispering the same suspicions of betrayal. Even Biggie, by Deal's account, feared the Bad Boy circle was no longer safe. From prison, Suge Knight fanned the flames with cryptic hints that Pac survived. Afeni Shakur, Pac's mother, added to the mystique when she once said mysteriously, "My son lives on." The Outlaws, Pac's closest crew, seemed to fuel the theories with lyrics that read like secret codes. But the whispers didn't stop at music. Jaguar Wright began spreading claims of sweeping cover-ups in the industry. Insiders whispered about payoff money to silent staff. Reporters who dug too deeply suddenly lost their assignments. And looming over everything was the LAPD's reputation, protecting celebrity interests while burying inconvenient truths. Decades later, FBI files on Tupac remain heavily redacted. Vegas police, despite mounting pressure, still refused to reopen the case. Journalists began drawing chilling parallels between Pac's story and the Jeffrey Epstein cover-up. And then came the most unsettling twist. Diddy's name surfaced repeatedly in sealed police transcripts. Allegations tied him not only to Pac, but to other stars who died under murky circumstances. Rivals seemed to fall, while Diddy's empire thrived. Heavy D collapsed suddenly.
New allegations made against disgraced rapper Sean Diddy Combs.
Well, the walls are falling in around Sean Puffy, aka Diddy Combs, as we learn in court documents he is named 77 times at least as it relates to the murder of Tupac Shakur. Now, it's a very long and circuitous explanation, but what it boils down to is the East Coast, West Coast feud and allegations that he offered $1 million for the death of Tupac Shakur, even making a phone call just after the hit, claiming, "Was that me?" Like somebody else ordered a hit.
Kim Porter's official pneumonia diagnosis mirrored a chilling pattern. whispers turned darker, some began calling Diddy a kind of biological warfare. Industry insiders admitted they were terrified to speak, fearing the same fate. And with every revelation, the shadow over Diddy's legacy only grew heavier. Tupac's case remains one of music's darkest mysteries, and Diddy's name is forever chained to the unanswered questions surrounding that night in Las Vegas. His fall from untouchable mogul to a man denied even $1 million bail revealed the cracks in his once iron grip on the system. His desperate counter, offering $50 million just to walk free, exposed pure fear. Judges refused, knowing witnesses already lived under immense pressure. Testimonies proved he tried tampering with jurors, manipulating witnesses, and silencing truth. Prosecutors reminded the court of Cassie's 2016 hotel video, a haunting glimpse into his pattern of behavior. They warned, release him and more victims would suffer. Even his minor Mann Act convictions carry massive weight. They set a precedent, opening the door for women and men to file civil suits. Lines of lawsuits now hover like storm clouds, waiting for sentencing day. Investigators say they've uncovered hundreds of hours of disturbing party footage. Rumors whisper that politicians, Hollywood giants, and global celebrities appear on those tapes. Insiders insist the feds weren't just chasing Diddy, they were chasing the blackmail files. Power players allegedly begged for those tapes to vanish before the public ever saw them. Gene Deal now brands Diddy the Black Epstein of hip-hop. His parties? Honey traps, drugs, minors, hidden cameras, every guest a pawn, every room a stage. If those tapes ever leak, the scandal could detonate Hollywood, Wall Street, and even royal circles. Still, silence rules. Fear rules. Survivors say Diddy re-victimized them by burying their stories again and again. Yet prosecutors frame this trial as bigger than one man. It's about power itself. In October, sentencing will decide his fate. But one question lingers. Will the truth finally see daylight, or will Diddy, once again, escape behind secrets too explosive to reveal?